this is Helen with the Better Half blog. Today I wanted to do a flip of everything that went on in my journals and planners during the month of April and currently what I am using today. And lastly, I'm going to finish off with what I am planning to use in May and some things that might change and might stay the same. Let's first start with my everyday carry, and this is something that I love. It's still my Giglio, and even though I purchased another Giglio from them, I do not want to carry this around just because of the leather. I don't want it to get all dirty in the car. I still carry this around because this is so durable and also beautiful and fancy at the same time. So with this, I am carrying my Hobonichi Weeks in the mega version, and all I'm doing here is I am really recording all my receipts. So every time I have a new receipt, like here, I would record it into the day that it belongs to, whichever day that I spent the money on the weeks. And then as I pay it off, I highlight it with the color, and so that I could easily find out what I paid for and just put it into categories. What was it for? It was for kids' education. It was for fun, beauty, Sean, kid, and guilt-free spending. So I would write down what it was for, and if I want to go see what vendor or merchant I purchased from, it would be here. Every week I'm just paying it off, and so that way, like, my credit card's at zero at all times. Just moving on to the next week. As you've seen before, I also highlight the paycheck period where money is moving around on those weeks. That is how I've been using my Hobonichi Weeks in my everyday carry, recording my credit card spending and my cash spending here. This paycheck, however, I did decide to go into cash, and so I did do my cash breakdowns and went to the bank and cashed out some money. I am not using credit cards anymore, and whatever I paid this week was from last week of spending. And everything else is recorded in cash, as you can see. So that's how I use it. If you have any questions on how I pay off my credit cards and spend it for points, let me know. I'll do kind of more of a thorough flip through and dedicate that video to that week's. And then the next one I want to talk to you about is, let's start easy, is about this one. So this is also my EDC, but around the house. So this is a little Giglio, and this is the Hobonichi Weeks that you've seen me use. I just record my brain dump here, and if I don't have enough space here, I would use the back over here to record any kind of brain dump. And as you can see, I have it kind of blocked off, but I have all of this to show how I used my weeks here. I love this because it's just small enough and big enough where I can write down a lot of things, but it doesn't take up a lot of room, and I like that. And the other thing is that every time I have a new schedule, sometimes I don't have my phone with me right away. My baby daughter loves to use my phone throughout the house. So I do record it here right away, if not my Notion. If you watch some of my other videos of how I plan out the month, I typically collect my data of all the schedules and bookings and things like that through 3 different pieces. One is my cell phone calendar, and then one is this EDC at home, and then the other one is my Notion. So I have all of that information stored. And so as I plan out May, which is going to be another video that I'm going to be doing very shortly here, I am looking at those 3 different sources of information there, and I will be filling this out. That way it's going to help me sort through the weeks of May. I'm using it as kind of a brain dump throughout the week to see what have I covered and what have I not covered. I check this planner every other day as I'm working through my actual functional planner that I'm currently using, which is the stylogy B6. I am going through and checking in to see on a regular basis what I am to do and what I've missed. That I have brain dumped in here and also migrated over from the week before. So the week before looked like this. I don't necessarily go anymore to go in and cross it all off when it's done, because this is not my absolute functional planner. This is more of my messy planning and pre-planning. Check in here only for the purpose of, hey, I have some time. I have some time to do some more things. What am I missing that I can get rid of here? So that's what I'm using this for. And as I go throughout this week and work this week, for both my personal and my work, I would then record things that I can do and migrate over to the next week here, or even the weeks after. Although I don't like to use the weeks after, I'd rather record them here in the monthly section, so that way I have, you know, some pre-recorded stuff here, and I don't care to use it like and make it pretty and things like that. And sometimes when I put stickers, it's simply because for my eyes and for my enjoyment. It's not to make it like this is going to be my keep and it's going to stay in my shelves. I doubt that this is going to end up in my shelves at the end of the year. So that's how I'm using this. And once I get my kind of pre-planned messy plan here, I then move on over to my stylogy, and this is happening very quickly, and I am really enjoying the stylogy right now. I am trying different things. As you can see, I've added some inserts in here to see if I like that. I don't like inserts. I don't like it getting too fat, although just enough chunkiness is, you know, always fun to see, you know, because that's kind of like your hard work and, you know, just your productivity is shown through those pages as you flip through them. But I kind of didn't like using all of these inserts in here, so I decided that I probably will use a rings planner once again to keep those type of information that I would want to keep. Another reason why I didn't want to keep it in here is because all these inserts I realize are things that I would probably keep for a longer duration. It might be a year, it might be 2 years, it might be even longer. And so I didn't want to store them in here because I don't know how long the stylogy is going to last me. And I don't want to be nervous about that. And then having to reset all this stuff over, I didn't want to do that. So I decided I'm going to keep this kind of like my showroom to see what inserts I have in here, what I don't, and then move on and move it into my rings planner to keep those inserts going, if that makes sense. And here I'm just literally using it as a functional planner, and I am, as you can see, going through the weeks, and I always set up for the whole week, so that way I don't have to stop and set up a page throughout the week because I don't have time to do that. So I would sit on a Friday or a Saturday or whenever I have a little extra time to sit down for like a few minutes and just set this up for the whole week. And so I would also be doing that towards the end of this week, towards the next week, and just set up the whole week that way. And then go into this, pick up everything from here that I have written down into here throughout the week. So that's what I would do. And I've been loving the stylogy, couple of reasons that I mentioned before. The size of it is great because I've never used the B6 before this time. I actually used an A5 stylogy as well as an A6 stylogy for different purposes. But this B6 has been wonderful. I just love the size of it. The boxes, the squares, as I've mentioned in my previous video, are bigger than the A5 and the A6 squares. And so that makes me happy that I don't have to be so carefully written and, you know, write so tiny. I can just like jot things down real quick and on the go like this. I was doing some accounting stuff and I was just writing down what were those spendings for. And I love that. I love the fact that I don't have to worry about keeping this for a long time. Once it's done, it's gonna go because it's just showing me what to do on each day. And once I'm checked off, I move on because it's not something that I need to record. Now, if I do need to record things that I did during each day and I want to keep it for memory's sake or things like that, then I would go into this booklet. So this is my Hobonichi cousin that you guys know. I just made this my absolute journal for the year. And this will be staying with us in my shelves. And I have all my information where, you know, Sean was traveling on those blues days. And then this was last year. I'm continually doing that here. And then I have all my important dates recorded on the bottom here, as well as on the top towards, you know, things that I want to remember, like, oh, when did that insurance start? Or when did I order something? And something like big, right? So I just ordered myself a Julia rings, and so I wrote that here because I just want to remember, like, when did I start to go back in the rings? It's this day, so I'm gonna remember things like that. And on here, I was just using it for everything else. So this is more of a memory keep. So if I don't need to remember like that one meeting per se, I wouldn't record it here. I would just have it in my functional planner. And now birthdays are different, you know, things. So COVID vaccine, for example, when my kids got it, when I got it, those are all recorded because I want to know so that next year comes around and we need to like do the COVID vaccine again, we'll know which day. Again, this is more of a memory keep of like how busy we kept our kids going, and more of kind of memory journaling over here, and more of that on my birthday week, if you could remember. And also started out really strong in the month of April. So I just kept going. And then here, last week, I kind of fell off in doing kind of any more writing here just because I was really busy decluttering and I kind of fell off the loop, and I don't mind it. I just wrote a little something here that we took a walk. But other than that, it's all here, and then I can go back and start writing things that I can remember that I want to remember for a long time. And if not, I'll just keep it just like this, and it makes me happy. On the daily pages, it has just been my journaling. So over here, let's start with April. Where's my April? Oh, here. Okay, so I am doing something called the minimalist wardrobe, and so I'm just doing some must-have stuff that I want to keep in my wardrobe, and everything else I'm literally going to toss, and I'm in the middle of doing that, in fact, in my closet, and put away, like in the suctioned bags that I got from Amazon. So wrote a little something about the capsule wardrobe that I was learning about. I'm really interested in that. I don't want to have clutter in my closet anymore. So here is that goals for the month and throughout the year. And so these are all things that, you know, I journaled about, and that was my birthday, and more journaling and journaling. So I used a lot of stickers, as you can see over here, because it just made me happy, and that's what I felt like doing. So that's what I did. And so some of these I don't have so much. Like last week was just a week that I decluttered, and that's what I primarily focused on. And so I'll remember why I didn't journal so much is because I decluttered, and that's just as important to me as journaling. So that then comes yesterday and today. So I'll be journaling in here, and so that's what I've been using this Helenistique cousin as. And I've been asked what this journal cover is. And it's actually called, I can't remember, it's like Felicia something. It's on Amazon, and I will link it down below. By the way, this is Sojourner leather cover, and it's a folio. Obviously, there's no, you know, bands in here. But I did make a little hole over here and put my own band that I had kind of laying around the house. And it doesn't even match, it's gray. I wish it was brown, but it was gray. But I just found that, and I just put one on because I don't want these things to go all over the place. Because sometimes I put receipts or invoices in here that I want to touch up on the following day, and I just didn't want to deal with you know, things falling out of this planner. So I just like to keep it all together like this. And the other thing I've added in here is a pen loop. And this one I got from Amazon. I will link that down below. I love this pen loop. I don't even bother to put the whole pen through. I just go like this, and then close it up like that. And that's how it would sit around my work area. So that's that. And then my last journal that I regularly use on a weekly basis, remember, if you watch my several videos down, This is a journal that I am keeping for 5 years, and it's just recording of what happened. It's more factual than emotional, and recording what happened throughout the day. And then following years to come, I will get to see, you know, what happened on that day the year before, which is kind of fun. I think that will be a very fun 5-year journey because within this journal alone, assuming that I continue with this, which I know I will see that my daughter is going to be graduating. So graduating college. And then my second one is going to be going to college at this year. So it will be exciting to see those kind of changes and new adaptation as a mother to those different phases of motherhood. So that would be fun. So that's how I'm using all my journals and planners. If you have any questions, let me know. I will do a flip of my inserts and things that I have gathered up for my Gilia rings once it comes. I am very excited to do that because I did need something to just record and have information stored in there, especially my financial planner. This one I had here because I use this as my receipt collector. I have my envelopes here that I took out the cash from, and they're just all stored in here. It's empty, obviously. It's in the wallet. I store all my receipts in here for the month, and then once I'm done, I will box it up and into my receipt box for the year and have it all stored in there. So that's what I've got going on. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments down below, but otherwise have a good week, and I will see you on Saturday. Bye.